What's going on, guys? Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Welcome to Tony's Tech Talk episode 23, recorded on July 10th, 2014. Tonight, we have a lot of things to talk about. Before we do that, though, I do want to welcome the first guest to Tony's Tech Talk, the founder of ebongeek.com, Mr. Ken Harrell. Ken, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome. It's been a while since we've had you back on the LTG network, and so for those people who aren't familiar with Ken and his website, he's definitely been a proxy member of our team, and it's really great to hear your thoughts on today's tech news, especially the last topic that we're going to be touching on. But let's go ahead and get started on the Chromecast impression. So yesterday I mentioned that Chromecast was going to be updated on Android on specific phones that would allow you to mirror your screen, and I have one of those specific phones, the Galaxy Note 3, and my update came in today, and I just want to show you guys a few photographs of what it looks like. So please disregard the wires of my TV. I know it looks really janky. But in any event, that is my TV, well, with the Chromecast on the back of it, streaming my Galaxy Note 3, and that's my home screen. And this is a YouTube video because I wanted to see how the streaming of video was from the phone, and if it also streamed audio. I can tell you this, it does not stream audio. Now, obviously, if you're going to be streaming the YouTube, you're going to want to go to the YouTube app and do it that way. But I just wanted to see if it would stream audio and how the video is. And the video at the moment is very choppy for what it is. But it does go sideways. So I did also try playing a game, and I downloaded, I think this cost me $2, but I downloaded the game Wipeout, which is, if I'm not mistaken, on ABC. It's kind of a Japanese-esque style game, kind of like Ninja Warrior, but pushing people into water. But what was that show on Spike TV? Do you remember back in the day where there were those obstacles and people tried to run over obstacles and they like the punching bag would punch them in the water or something?
I do remember. I thought it was called Wipeout.
Well, this. I think it had a different name. Well, whatever. There's a ton of different game shows that have the similar facility, but playing a game over Chromecast, I was kind of hoping that I could use my phone as the game controller and just basically stare at my TV, and my character would do what I wanted to do, and it does. But again, there's no audio. Oh, that's not. That's computers. There's no audio, and it is very choppy. But one thing that does need to be pointed out is it's still in uber beta. It's very, very new, and it is on specific phones because it's on the specific version of Android KitKat 4.4. So if you don't have a Galaxy Note or a Galaxy S5 or a Nexus 4 or a Nexus 5, I would just wait. Just be patient, and it's going to be spreading out to other avenues and other platforms out there. Possibly iOS is going to adopt this as well too, and I can definitely see a lot of people. Ken, you use an example where you had an LG phone back a few years ago, and an LG TV, and you were able to use Miracast to stream certain things that were on your phone to your TV. What things do you think from a phone, other than Netflix, other than like Pandora, what other things on the phone do you think that people would really benefit having this mirroring ability?
Well, my thing was mainly games, but I mean, just about any content. Games and YouTube is pretty much what I was using it for. And I was pretty satisfied with it. I mean, I used the same type of technology on iOS, and I found no problems with Miracast. I actually kind of liked it. And it didn't take a whole lot to set up. Basically, the first time I did it, it just kind of worked. I was like, awesome, it's working.
Well, we actually have a question from Bruce, a longtime viewer. So Bruce asked if he was wondering if it's possible to stream to several TVs from one device. At the moment, no. If I'm not mistaken, it is one-to-one. However, if you have multiple Chromecasts in the household, you can you can Chromecast from your device to the TV in the living room, and then your wife or your roommate can Chromecast from their phone to the TV in the den. So there's not going to be a conflict of any kind of crossing wires. I only have one Chromecast, so but that's been my experience from day one. I don't believe they've changed that. If they have changed that, I missed that, and that's a really big feature of Chromecast, and definitely much huge benefit. But I don't think that's a feature at the moment. But being able to stream to multiple TVs at once, I would say that'd be really cool for like video, like a music video or music. You know, going from one room to another, you'd be able to hear the same Katy Perry song everywhere you go. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but whatever. Prince, for example. But yeah, good question. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on the topics at hand that we brought everybody here tonight. So first and foremost, AT&T back in January at CES announced the feature to their plans called sponsored data. Essentially, what this would mean is that certain companies could pay AT&T to, in a sense, open up the floodgates, open up the pipes a little bit better for them, and allow customers to have better access to their service. So, for example, if Reed Hastings from Netflix went to AT&T and gave AT&T a load of cash, anytime that you as a user went to Netflix, you would never have to worry about your data stream, and also it would be free. So I know a lot of us use Netflix, or Hulu Plus, or YouTube for that matter, and just the idea of not having to worry about a data cap or trying to look for a Wi-Fi connection, that's really something that's sought after. But the problem that we fall into is that it goes against the whole net neutrality. And we know the FCC basically said, yeah, there's no net neutrality. We know Tom Wheeler made this decision. So in essence, sponsored data is allowed, but no company has jumped on it. Ever since this announcement, I'm sure AT&T has been kind of groveling at the feet of some of the bigger companies out there, maybe some of the other mid-sized companies to take advantage of sponsored data, but no one has actually agreed to take part. Now, there was a rumor that Amazon was going to have Amazon Prime data with the idea that if you were to use Amazon Prime Video or Amazon Prime Music, as long as you stayed within those apps, that stream would be free. And that was a kind of a cool idea, but again, it falls into, the net neutrality issue, where if you're a startup and you have a really cool video streaming idea, let's just say Crunchyroll, for example. I know they're bigger now, but a couple of years ago, they were tiny guys. They didn't really have the backbone that they have right now. And if you were Crunchyroll up against Amazon, and Amazon said, well, free data for everybody as long as you use the Amazon app, and we have all this anime content, well, then Crunchyroll would be dead in the water. That's not the case at the moment, but that is something to consider. And with this, AT&T is not going to make it any easier for anybody, but at the same time, I think these large companies are kind of seeing that if they do sign into it, it's going to look bad on them. What do you think, Ken?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that there's no biters on this, because the moment you start to bite, they're just going to start to manipulate in other sorts of ways. This is just bad. I think the way from AT&T's perspective, they just see dollar bills going back and forth, and they just want a cut of it. This is not the way to do it, I don't think.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, like I mentioned pre-show, T-Mobile does something similar, wherein that if you use, they did something with on Carrier 6, I think they call it, on Carrier 6.0, something like that, where if you use iHeartRadio, Pandora, I believe Slacker Radio is one of them as well too, if you use those streaming apps, even if you're on a limited data plan, all the music streaming is free, which is really cool, but the difference is T-Mobile is flipping the bill. It's not Slacker going to T-Mobile asking for sponsorship or anything like that. It's T-Mobile saying, okay, we can see what apps you're using, and we're going to put these apps on what's essentially called a whitelist. And as long as you're streaming the music through these apps, you don't have to worry about your data cap. So T-Mobile has a really good plan in terms of unlimited data, so I don't really see how that could, how that really helps. But they do have lower data caps for the for lower monthly rates too, so that's really good for those users as well. We do have something again in the Q&A, and Ken, I don't know if you know, but there is a live Q&A right now. X Morris mentioned here that this is obviously a mobile tech only show, not tech. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. My background is in mobile, although we do a more large tech-related show called the LTG Show on Tuesday nights. However, we do have a tech topic at the end, which is kind of cool. If you can just just hold on and wait and see what that's all about. In other mobile tech news, Google has launched the YouTube Creator app for iOS. Now, I've been on Android for a long time, and when I saw this, I kind of thought, oh, Google's doing it for iOS and not Android. Oh, actually, Android was released last week. So, yeah, the YouTube Creator App Studio for iOS. This is really only, I would say, beneficial for those who create YouTube content. So if you're just a regular person that just likes watching YouTube shows and things like that, you're not really going to see any benefit from this. But if you're a startup like us, like Lazy Tech Guys, or Ken, if you decide to not run for senator and you want to start uploading videos, this is a really cool tool because it can basically give you all the analytics that you would find when you go to your YouTube dashboard online. So it gives you, how many views. Right away, you can see specifically just the comments. You can see the real-time stats of what people are watching and how often they're watching it. So it's definitely a very handy tool to have. In addition to launching this app, YouTube has also included uploads of 48 and 60 frames per second. And Ken, I know you're a big gamer. 60 frames per second. I mean, come on, that's got to be really a good news for gaming, like reviews and gaming walkthroughs and things of that nature.
Yeah, if you're recording your games, when I play Titanfall, a lot of guys do, and the increased frame rate definitely helps when you want to see those little details. Like there's a lot of eject kills where someone will eject from a Titan, and they're so tiny, and you just really need to be able to see that person that, as they're coming down, when they get that kill shot. This is great for people that record. Now, me, I kind of suck at Titanfall, so I don't record my I don't record my games because I don't want to see anyone see me getting killed constantly. But yeah, increased frame rate, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it could only get any better from there. And I don't know. This was my speculation. The fact that uploads of 60 frames per second are now being supported. I thought that could also correlate to the possible acquisition of Twitch, which was rumored about a month or so ago. Now, Rad made a good point. Does Twitch and YouTube are they based off the same software stack? And I don't know, because if they're not, it's probably going to be a lot harder for the acquisition to go through. But if they are, then it's kind of a no-brainer in that regard. That's a little bit of a different topic, but yeah. This is another cool thing about this is that there's going to be, this is kind of in beta right now, but there's what's called a tip jar. So if you're a YouTube creator, again, your followers, your subscribers can tip you monetarily through, not through the app, but at least through YouTube. And through the app, you can monitor that and see how much money you're making. And so that's real cool. And so I don't know how to turn that.
So when you do this tip, is it through? When you do the tipping, is it through Google Wallet or can you?
I'm sure Google Wallet's like one of the main ways to do it, but I don't know how else they would, because if they put PayPal on there, I don't know how that would pan out. I mean, for them, it's not, obviously it's not cannibalizing their own service, and it's opening it up to other people that may not want to sign up for Google Wallet or put a credit card on Google, but I don't really know how that would work in terms of.
Last time I used Google Wallet, I think there was an option in there. Someone in the chat may know, but I remember there being an option in there for if you wanted to at least transfer money from PayPal in the Google Wallet. So at least getting money into your Google Wallet, I think you can pull it out of PayPal or a bank account.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think the larger concern is having anything linked to money with Google. Some people just don't want that whatsoever. Which I mean, I can understand, but any
Why? Because
major
of fear of money laundering or something? Or
just the
I mean,
fear of Google knowing that much more about how much you make, where you live, where you travel, what you buy, who you
they know
donate
that.
to.
They know that
They,
anyway.
they know that anyway. I know, but it just it just makes it more apparent to the user, and they're like, oh, see, now they really know how much money I spend. So yeah. In future news, iOS 8, it's in beta right now. It's like developer preview. It's not going to come out until maybe September with the infamous iPhone 6, which we've seen a ton of leaks and rumors on. But one thing that we do know is that third-party keyboard apps are going to be available. And as an Android user, when I heard this, I was like, "Pfft, that's old news." But as an iOS user, that's something really cool. And Ken, you actually brought this to my attention maybe 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Flexi was a really cool, innovative third-party app that actually first came out on iOS. And the way that they did it back in that day was that they made it an app, and you would type your message in the app itself using the Flexi keyboard, but then you would have to copy and paste it into other apps like email, YouTube, Facebook, whatever it was. And
Yep.
obviously, the user experience that was not very good, but now you can just do it right from the get-go. And I got to tell you, if you guys, viewers, if you haven't tried Flexi, go try it out. Go find an Android friend and go download it for free. I think it's free. Go download it and try it out. And you can literally not be looking at your phone and
And
type
you could be
out.
a sloppy. You could be
Yeah,
a
you can be as
sloppy typer.
sloppy as you want. They used an example, if you're visually impaired, you don't have to worry about that so much with this keyboard. It really does a very good job at guessing and predicting what you're saying. Um, so this Flexi has been, I guess, the first official third-party keyboard that's been announced. And some other keyboards we know, Swift wasn't, not Swift, Swipe was announced at WWDC, so I guess it's the second third-party keyboard. But another favorite in the Android community is SwiftKey X, and that's the one that I use. And so that's something that I'm very, very excited for. Well, all you iOS users to take advantage of, because I got to tell you, things like swiping across the screen cuts my texting time in half. I
Yeah, I
you
can't
know
wait for this. I hope there's customizable backgrounds too, because I'm driven completely nuts. I mean, I want to see like this like everywhere in the OS, like for everything that I go into, because I'm tired of getting blinded, like at night when I'm just trying to like respond to a text real quick, and because everything's white, on the iPhone, so you're like, whoa.
yeah.
But
What
yeah, I would
with
totally use this over the iOS keyboard.
With SwiftKey X, you actually have different. There's a store, and you can download different themes, and the
Yes.
themes basically change the background, and it's very much like the whole Winamp theme from back in the early 2000s, where you could have different colors of your Winamp player on your PC. Right now, the themes are really just kind of color based. There's no theme where there's like a Master Chief picture in the background or a Lamborghini picture or anything like that. It's just different colors and different hues, and but for what they are kind of nice. Some are free, some you pay for, and that's at least on the Android side of it. So I'm sure when it goes to iOS 8 that is something that they're working on to better allow iOS users to more customize your user experience. All right, so last but not least, so X, if you're watching still, this is the non-mobile topic here, drones.
Yes.
We've been talking about drones for at least many years, again, thanks to Ken, because Ken, you are, between the four of us, I guess now the five of us, because now we have another member, Andrew Lee, but between all of us, you're the one guy who sees all the technology of today, and you say, okay, that's cool. What's happening 20 years from now? And
Exactly.
drones is one of those technologies that is very much something that's in the future, but what we have right now, it's part scary and part cool. And what's going on is companies like Amazon is they're taking advantage of the cool factor, and they're announcing products and future products like what they call it, Prime Air or Drone Prime. I forget. Yeah, I think it was Prime Air, and
Amazon
the
Prime.
ability. Amazon Prime Air, thank you, and the ability to send packages that weigh less than 5 pounds to you within 30 minutes or less, kind of like a pizza, and whatever the pricing may be, you could. But the idea is that you could be in the middle of nowhere, maybe a place where FedEx or USPS don't come often, and still be able to get that little doodad that you really need. And Ken, you use an example where you need to get new keys for your vehicle replaced, and instead of having to wait for the truck to come by, you can just order it right away, and you get it within about a half an hour. The problem is, obviously, we've got regulation from the FAA, or as I call them, FA. Just, FA. And out of spite, I call them FA because, they're just irking me with all their
You
old
can add,
kind of.
add a K or a C onto the.
Yeah,
if you want.
depending. Whichever, or both. You can do both.
Yeah.
Or you could do the Battlestar Galactica and add an R in the middle, and so
Yep.
you could say so it's not a swear word per se, but yeah, essentially what's happening now is Amazon is kind of going to the FAA and asking them, we've developed these drones now where they can go up to 50 miles per hour, but where we're at right now, it's very limited. We want to kind of go to another location, a location that you can designate where we can speed up R&D, more research and development on this drone air. And if the FAA allows them to do this, this is going to be a big win, because right now what's going on is last month the FAA actually grounded they grounded any kind of commercial drone use. And you said different municipalities are they allow or disallow,
Well,
but essentially,
there are some parts of the countries where they've said, look, no drones, no commercial drones. I think what Amazon's basically trying to do here is say, look, please don't kill this technology before it's had time to fully develop. I mean, if you're like a small company like I think we dipped out for a second there.
oh, that was interesting.
That was interesting.
That was scary. Drones, man. We're talking
What
about
did I
drones. The
say?
NSA is
The NSA.
watching.
Exactly. Sorry,
Like FA, I did that FA joke, and they're like, no, you're done.
cut them off.
Red button, red button of death. You're done.
Okay, but what I was saying is that I think what Amazon's saying is that, please FAA, do not kill this nascent technology before it's really had time to develop. I mean, we're kind of like in the 1980s in terms of where this drone technology is, but in 15, 20, 30 years, the drones will become more sophisticated. They'll have greater flight range, better batteries, greater flying capacity. And eventually people are going to get things delivered to them by a drone. I mean, I could see a situation where you could have 3D printers on the drone so that it just produces something on demand. It's actually generated. And there's actually I think it's a DARPA program that's doing this now, where you have drones that 3D print drones and then launch them. I'll actually share.
Serious?
Yeah, I'll share that with you on Google Plus. It was like an article I read a couple of days ago,
gosh.
where the 3D printer is on the drone and it prints them according to whatever the mission is. But this is a new technology, and I think they're just saying, look, please don't kill this before before it's up and going. The AirDog, which I told you about earlier, if you're a company like that and you're hearing news that and there's some uncertainty there as to what the FAA regulation is going to be, maybe you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to spend the next 2.5 years of my life developing this technology if there's no, possibility of me actually being able to commercialize it. Whenever there's this kind of uncertainty around the regulation, it's just an innovation killer. I think they need to open the thing up, realize that mistakes are going to be made. people are going to be injured, birds are going to be killed, but this is the price of innovation. Just like when we went from the from the horse carriage to the horseless carriage. Yes, things are going to happen, but I mean,
Yep.
this is kind of the cost of the development of new technology and innovation, and we just got to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to drones, especially, people look at the worst case scenario. They think of, like you said, in the future, 20, 30 years, 40 years from now, drones are going to be everywhere, and it's just going to be a thing, you know.
Yeah,
But
there'll be all kinds of different drones,
yeah,
and we
and
won't even
people
call them drones.
now, yeah, people now think, oh, what if there are 20 drones in one intersection and they all collide and explode and we die in a massive fire? It's like, well, you're looking at the worst case scenario. You know, you got to realize that that's not going to happen, but probably not going to happen because by the technology, when it comes out to be commercialized and more consumers are going to use it in the larger cities, there's going to be ways that drones are going to be able to recognize each other and either avoid each other's flight path or just basically say, okay, there's 5 drones on that street. Due to the regulation of the FAA, there can't be more than 5 drones on that street. So I'm just going to float here and wait for those drones to leave, and then I'll go deliver my package.
Yeah, or
I
sit on
mean,
a power line and recharge yourself or something.
right. Yeah, I mean, and you mentioned something, though, too. Just the word drone. The word drone has such a bad taste. Such a negative connotation because the first thing that I heard that was a drone was a UAV. That was the
The
first drone that I ever learned, you know?
military
And
drone.
right, for those who
But a
don't know
lot,
what a UAV is, it's that really cool thing that you get in the care package in COD that allows you to see all your enemies. I mean, that's what it is. But but yeah, it's a huge military drone that has the wingspan of like 40
it's
seagulls taped
20,
end to
yes,
end.
20 feet.
Yeah.
Exactly, and fires Tomahawk missiles. But that's the big problem is that many people that have issues around drones, it's a political topic. There's politics involved. There's Ludditism involved. There's just fear of technological innovation involved, and that word drone has been drilled into the minds of people so that when you say the word drone, they're not thinking of Amazon Prime Air or AR Parrot drone. They're thinking of something that kills people, unfortunately. And there are drones that kill people, but that's not what this technology is. And the people that are against drones have done such a fantastic job at convincing everyone that that commercialized drones are somehow the technological equivalent of a drone that kills people, that they hear the word drone, they associate it with death, and then they're just automatically against it. That's something that we're just as a society going to have to push past because there's a lot of advantages to personalized drones, drones used for aerial photography, drones used for security, used for creative purposes. I mean, please, FAA, do not kill this technology before it has a chance to fully flourish and develop.
You know what? I think every member of the FAA has to watch the video of the drone that took flight in the middle of the firework display. Have you seen that on YouTube?
I, I did see that; it was awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, the video quality alone, I don't know, I guess it's a GoPro, but the video quality alone definitely, is a great example of, seeing, showing you what you can see from, a camera like that, and, you have full control. I mean, there were fireworks going off right in front of it, and the drone's like, oh, and the controller, the guy at the other end, either on a mobile phone or whatever he had, said, okay, I'm going to go left now. And it just automatically went left. There wasn't any kind of delay. And, obviously there's other use cases for the drone. I was just at the Pirate Festival in Vallejo, California, and there was a guy flying a drone, and he was kind of showing us, hey, this is everybody, this is a live feed, and this is all you guys. Wave hi to the drone. There's people using drones to look at natural disasters and things that the major news stations can't get to right away. But in order to get information, this guy threw his drone up there and say, "Hey, here's the fire. It's right over there. I'm here to help." I think he was castigated for that, but he was just trying to help. So
Yeah, but I
they,
mean,
they gotta realize
search and
that
yeah, search and rescue, aerial photography, security, personal recreational use, commercial use. There's a whole economy that could be built around the usage of commercial and personal drones. I think eventually we're just all going to have this little sphere that just kind of travels around with us wherever we go and just records things. And it'll be like having a cell phone. You remember back in the day when only certain people had cell phones. Not everyone has them. Now everyone
Yeah.
has them. You can get them for free. And I think
Yeah.
the same thing is eventually going to happen with personalized drones. Personalized and commercial drones. They'll just be everywhere. And they'll be all different scales. You'll have relatively large ones, medium-sized ones, and micro drones that are no larger than, say, a hummingbird or maybe even insects.
Yeah, I mean, you got like pneumatic tubes going all the way through Costco, sending information from the registers all the way back to the main office. I mean, just imagine being able to do that, but not just within a building and not just little pieces of paper, but like full-on packages, down to a completely different store because at the other store somebody wanted to pick up a new computer or whatever the case is, whatever the product was, and they weren't willing to travel. You could send that over there safely in one piece. I mean, and then guns would come out and shoot everybody, right? Because it's a drone. So I don't know. People just need to relax and, like you said, with new technology, there's going to be a lot of frightened people. A lot of regulatory stuff is going to try and be implemented. But my hope is this: like you said, it's going to be 5 to 10 years now, but between now and 5 to 10 years that we actually see some actual positive movement. And I think that's also because 5 to 10 years from now, the people that are in office in the FAA that might have the pull to make these decisions are going to be, well, somewhat of the younger generation, so they might be a little bit more
Nice.
open to these things.
I certainly hope so. I mean, a lot of these decisions, when you see the guys that are making them, uh, I don't know if you heard, but apparently the Supreme Court, they just got phones. The guys in the Supreme Court, they just got cell phones. It's like welcome to, I guess,
Well, you,
2006
you
or
mean you
something.
mean you mean company phones or like their first phone
No,
ever?
they just got cell phones. So welcome to the mobile
Oh
world.
my gosh.
But these guys, I'm sorry, old guys like me can't be the ones making the decisions. It has to be people that are under the age of 30. And some people may be offended by that, but this is the demographic that really understands what the potential of these technologies are, and they're the ones that need to be making the decisions about them.
Yeah.
I just don't think that many of the people that are in the FAA now really have any idea what the potential of these technologies are. And we can't, in our economy, we can't really afford to have these technologies just sort of crushed out of fear and ignorance.
I agree. Well, Ken, thank you very much for your insight on that. And again, if we have more drone talk, we'll definitely come to you about that because you definitely are on top of this topic. That's
Cool.
pretty much it for tonight's Tony's Tech Talk. We're gonna go and do another episode starting Monday through Thursday. This has kind of been an ongoing beta that we've been doing on the LTG channel, Lazy Tech TV, and so it looks like our shows are going to be Monday through Thursday. Sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So only 3 days a week. Around 10:30 to 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And Ken, we might have you on either as a regular on Thursdays or every other Thursday. We'll definitely work something out.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you
So
for having me.
oh, totally. Let's go ahead and look at the Q&A section here, see if there's anything worth noting. Robert, how you doing, Robert? Thanks for joining us tonight. So he says that I recently seen on Netflix that I believe it was called Flight of the Drones. It was great. You need to see it. There you go. Flight of the Drones. That is the Netflix recommendation for the evening. I did a recommendation for Netflix yesterday, so this is another good one. Just another reason for me to stay up late. Thanks, Robert. I will get no sleep tonight. Awesome. Ken, why don't you let people know how they could find you if you want them to find you? Again, you're trying to become senator so one day, so maybe you don't want these guys finding you, but
Yeah, my blog is ebongeek.com. That's ebongeek.com. And ironically, I think the Amazon drone story was the last one that I wrote. So but it's been a while. But there's a lot of interesting stuff up there.
definitely cool. Yeah. In terms of me, you could find me. I would say down here below, but my lower thirds got deleted by the NSA apparently. But yeah, you could find me at Twitter at LTG Tony. or here on Google Plus, Tony Hannity's, or obviously our YouTube channel, Lazy Tech TV, for the website lazytechguys.com. So we will be back, I guess, on Monday. Everybody have a great rest of the weekend and stay classy, I guess, and we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, guys.